Today we're hanging out and we're talking about Warfare, the new Alex Garland film, which was an A24 release and is co-written and co-directed by real Iraq War veteran Ray Mendoza. I saw this film last night and I am still shook by it, so let's discuss. Warfare is a 95-minute action war drama film about a platoon of Navy SEALs who embark on a dangerous mission in Ramadi, Iraq, with the chaos and brotherhood of war retold through their memories of the event. This logline does not do the film justice. This is one of the most powerful films I have seen in a really, really long time. This is without a doubt my favorite war movie I have ever seen. This film is a masterclass in subtlety, and yet somehow it is so in your face. I know it's only April, but I would be shocked if this film did not make my top 5 or at least my top 10 for all of 2025. From the writing to the direction to the acting to the literal execution of this film, this is an earth-shatteringly incredible theatrical experience. This is what we're talking about when we're talking about a film that is both entertaining, incredibly well done, and has a really, really, really strong, powerful message. But you are not losing any quality of the film in service of your message. If you want to make a film that says something really powerful but is also entertaining and really well done, this is a blueprint. This movie does not lose any quality in service of a message. It is so masterfully done because you are entertained, you are watching an incredibly well done film, and you are receiving a powerful message. It is possible to do all three of those things, and this movie is a great example of exactly that. There is really no way to talk about this film without getting political. You know, it is what it is. But it really shouldn't be political to be anti-war, but I feel as though it is. I feel that every time I talk about being anti-war, it's like I have to clarify that being anti-war does not mean that I'm pro-Putin or pro-Hamas or whatever the I don't like war. Sue me. Anyway, I hate how removed some of us are. Most of us are from the literal horrors of war. Random senator from random state who's a warmonger, like, have you served? No, you probably haven't. Most of us get to turn the news off and more or less just like forget that war is happening constantly. And this film, Warfare, shoves the reality so far down your throat and yet does it in a subtle way. This film opens with a 1980s style workout video playing, and it is very clear that we, the audience, are meant to be admiring the magic of the female form, and then it cuts to this group of Navy SEALs, and they are doing just that. They're enjoying themselves, they're being dudes, they're being silly, they're dancing, they're yelling, they're having a good time, and then bam, quiet. We are in the streets of Ramadi, Iraq, and these Navy SEALs are about to enter a random home and overtake it. That is all the context we get. That is all the context we need. Suddenly we are here in this house with them, sweaty, pretty much bored, just like getting to see how mundane war can be until it's not. Until the surrounding Iraqi citizens realize that there are Americans inside that house and they're going to do something about it. And what follows is a heart-pounding, intense, gruesome, graphic, sad look at what could happen at any moment, any war, at any time. I absolutely loved that we do not learn anything more about the mission or why they're there. I mean, right, we know it's in the context of the Iraq War, right? Great. And a lot of us have feelings on it, but the specifics of why this town, why this place, we don't learn because it doesn't matter. What matters is we are now in this situation and we are just trying to survive. The score of this film lends itself extremely well to this haunting and visceral experience. There are explosions, there are men screaming, there are men speaking or trying to speak through throats full of dust. It is so viscerally real. I felt like I was there. I really did. The way that they used volume and like muffled qualities to really put yourself inside of these different SEALs' heads and what they were going through is just masterfully done. I loved the score. This film is pretty stacked with some awesome actors like Will Poulter, Cosmo Jarvis, Joseph Quinn, Charles Melton, and a bunch of other really incredible actors that I recognized some, but I didn't know all of their names, but they were all so great. Like, this ensemble was truly, truly incredible, and you really felt the connections between the men. The screenplay was penned by Alex Garland, co-written with Ray Mendoza, the actual real Iraq war veteran who was at this mission in Ramadi, and you can really tell the language, the banter, the routineness, it just felt so deeply real. The direction, I mean, Alex Garland, duh, but wow, masterful. This is probably my favorite thing I've ever seen him do. And, you know, he did Ex Machina, so that's saying a lot. The plot was straightforward, just incredibly impactful in its simplicity. I can't stop saying it. It doesn't matter why we were there. The ending was astounding. You know, after the SEALs are out and the Iraqis who were fighting them literally just like come out of their homes, and it's just like these dudes wearing like flip-flops and t-shirts, and it's just so nonchalant, like destruction and death and fighting and blood, and then poof, just back to normal, more or less. And then the family whose house it was, they walk out of the room they were being held in, physically unharmed, but they just see this like trail of blood, and they're just supposed to like clean it up and go on because it's wartime, baby. And I do not view this film as taking a side. And that was another reason I really, really appreciated it. It just showed the reality, showed the truth, the horror, the truth of the horror. And then credits begin to roll, and they show side by side photos of the real Navy SEALs and the actors that were playing them. And a lot of the Navy SEALs elected to have their faces blurred out. And I loved that because they still showed it, right? They could have just not shown that SEAL, right? They showed the picture with the blur because these are humans. These are humans. These are humans who experienced this. This film is based on these men's memories and experiences. At the end of the day, the Navy SEALs are humans. So are the people they're fighting. And so are the random citizens whose house got overtaken. And so are the translators that have been employed by the US. We're all humans. Nobody wants to go through this. And I know that war has been something that has been happening since humans have existed. But it's films like this that really make you question why. What is it all for? Like, what are we actually fighting for? I don't know. So yeah, safe to say, I loved the film. I was really impacted by it. And don't get me wrong, it is a difficult watch, but it is powerful. Have you seen Warfare yet? I have to say, I implore you to go watch this movie. Remind yourself of like what war is. That's what I took away from it. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for hanging out, and let me know if you see the movie. Make sure to subscribe so we can hang out and talk movies again soon. Happy movie watching.